one and all. We CMAT family invite you all to the first webinar of Road to the Future webinar series. What makes one a technologist or an engineer? It is our pleasure to invite our guest for the day, Dr. T.P. Shashikumar Sir, formerly held positions of Scientist in Space Department, Director at Academic Staff College, UGC University of Calicut, Deputy Director at Directorate General of Security, Cabinet Secretariat, New Delhi. Sir has also been an official of National Technical Research Organization and is joining us today from Hyderabad. Here we commence what makes one a technologist or an engineer. Handing over to Shashikumar Sir.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram to all of you. It's a great privilege for me to speak to engineering college students, which I consider always as a great contribution which I'm doing. I'm not new to this. I've been with engineering college students since from my office time, where we had projects given at the MTech level. And though I am not an engineer by profession, I was with Vishwesvaraya College of Engineering in Bangalore. That is where I did my PhD, and that happens to be very close to an engineering field, that is fluid mechanics. And from then, probably the computer programming started from that time. So I'm basically a person with the computers for last 30-40 years. And with the Technologist as Space Department, you know, that's one of the most privileged department in India, where we had the highest technology available. One of the best contributors of science and technology development, not only as part of space research, but to the society in various other capacities. So I'm sure that experience is what I am going to share with you. And my academic interest made me to leave, and I was part of Calicut University as Director for Academic Staff College sometime. So I had the privilege of going to different institutions in Kerala. So I'm not very far from Kerala, though I am not residing in Kerala for last so many years. And soon after retirement, I was in Palakkad, stayed there almost 1.5 years, teaching young children, bringing them up in their life. So I did a lot of mentoring programs in Palakkad. They are now postgraduate students, and some of them are employed, some of them are doing PhD, some of them are abroad. But it's first time I am talking to Sreepathy Institute of Engineering. I am basically from Kannur. So I was also Executive Director for an engineering college. And Sreepathy Engineering College has got a Management and Technology title there. I was a Professor of Management for few years in Hyderabad. So with that privilege, probably I may be taking little bit of freedom talking to you as a teacher or as a professor of yours, looking closely to children. I left the college in North Malabar, Payyanur, Engineering College, because I don't want a +2 student who is engineering graduate aspirant reaching in engineering college, but in 4 years time most of them lose their enthusiasm and interest. That's the word I used in resigning from the position of executive director. I remember in 2009 or 10, That is almost 10 years back. Government Engineering College at Thrissur called me for induction training program. I did some 3 days program. The first question I asked was, as they are just inside the college, I think it was first or second day was my session. I asked how many of you are unhappy. That was the first question I asked. I found nearly 10 to 15% of students are unhappy because they are in engineering, because they could not get into medicine or they could not get into some other field of their choice, or they did not get what specific field they want. They got something which is not of their interest. The pass percentage of engineering in Kerala, I don't know about Sreepathy. I went to many engineering colleges, probably more than 300 engineering colleges in India, starting from NIT Hamirpur in Himachal Pradesh up to Thiruvananthapuram, or no, up to Tamil Nadu end. I know in whole India the percentage of pass, especially in Kerala, the first semester, maths, physics, chemistry, the basic subject which they learned in plus 1, plus 2 itself, when it comes to engineering, the percentage of pass is somewhere between 4% to 10%. That is basically because the orientation is lacking. Though the degree is BTech, which is called a Technologist, Bachelor of Technology. Bachelor means Brahmachari. So most of the people who are in front of me, out of 93, probably 80 of you, I believe are BTech students. And you are called Bachelor of Technology and the college is called Engineering. Generally nobody calls it as Technology College. Though the title says Management and Technology, it comes under the list of Engineering College. So there are a lot of terminologies which really are used. I don't know how many students are eager enough to know what does it mean, and that was the topic which I thought I will discuss. Very basic, because I believe in understanding concepts, understanding terminologies to that deep extent where you are thorough. You will be able to answer some big questions, because everything is on the base. And most of the science and technology terminologies comes from the Greek, Latin, European, British background. So it's not that simple English like the computer science English which comes from America. Most of the other subjects takes its root from those European countries. That's why something is very tough and hard, we say that it is Greek and Latin to me. I just want my students to be always interactive. Therefore, I want you to take my telephone number 944-7437-948. That is there in my chat box also. In this seminar chat box, that's the first thing what I did. 944-7437-948. I don't know how many of you are able to work both listening, seeing and then typing in the number. But I wish you are technologists or you are part of that smart group of people in this world. And I love to hear from you, because this can be more interactive, not probably looking at each other, but chat box is open, but looking at chat box will take some time. So if you can send me a WhatsApp, all the questions what you have, including what do you understand by the terminology scientist, engineer, science, technology, engineering, technologist. Probably these 3, 4, 5, 6 words is good enough. If you understand that, if you can answer that, then I can build up my lecture based on what the answer which you are giving. So the scientist, we in Department of Space get the identity card in which it is generally written scientist bar engineer. That is because we deal with both science and technology. That's why Department of Space is called Science and Technology Department. I got few answers. Science means theory, engineering, application of science. Wonderful. That's a beautiful answer. But then what is engineering? What is technology? Our topic is not science and technology, science and engineering. Science is the theory and technology is, somebody has typed, technologist means that who uses technology. That's a beautiful answer. My number is 944 74 37 948. I think somebody was asking that on chat, so on the screen I could see, so I just gave that number. I'm sure if you have not referred dictionary, when you enter a engineering college for a BTech degree, it is essential to understand the meaning of at least the degree which you are getting. So it has got Bachelor of Technology. So you must understand what is technology. Technology is not engineer. Engineering is the preliminary usage of science for some mechanism, designing, building, maintaining, creating, which is useful for human. Science need not to be that directly useful. If you look around your world, probably you will not see science, but you will see engineering products. Under that, or for creating that engineering, probably different science would have come into use. That could be chemistry. If you look at a thermocol, you know that it comes from petroleum. So there is a basic science research which happened, but to make a thermocol from a petroleum product, it undergoes various processes. All that processes under the first pilot project. The first project what you do is called a pilot project. The experimentation project. Showing it you can create something like this from the science. That is engineering. It's like a ing form. That means it's a continuous process. Engineering is a continuous process. But who makes a thermocol at a production level to make a business out of it? That is technology. So engineering is what you prove that you can do it. But technology creates products. Engineering doesn't create products. That is why your college is called a technology college. Because your degree is professional. It is not learning. It is not creating researchers to understand what you can do and how you can do. No, that is not the purpose. The purpose is make you to create such things. Make you into entrepreneurship. That is why the program is called a professional program. Otherwise, it could be a science and technology department. There we prove, but we may not create. I may not create something. I may even give it as a contract to somebody else to make something, or I may give a science and technology transfer to some company to do it. So you are basically an engineer. That means you know how to do innovation, how to do creation, how to design it, and also you make products out of it. So you are both engineering and a technologist together. That is why when Hitesh was discussing what is the topic which I give, I thought I will give such a topic which makes you to think whichever field you are. Because I asked what is the background of students. If it would have been a mechanical engineering students, I would have talked about fluid mechanics, or if it had been electronics, I would have talked about signal processing. If it is computer science, I would have talked about data base or something like that. It depends on whichever field you are. Probably I could get something. Electrical engineering students will have a lot of mathematical applications. I could pick up something. I heard all the engineering students are there. And this becomes a part of a series of lectures which tells you the road to the future. So how do you understand the road to the future? If you understand where are you and where you want to go, and then you know the direction. That is the direction setting by this webinar. So I am sure as an engineer, you are supposed to know what are the technologies in the field available today and how can you make it. And AICT, as part of this program, you have been given with a project work which used to be 6 months full time. Now because of the semester pressure, it became 4 months. It is supposed to be individual, but the huge number of students who became engineering, it became into club of few people together and then do it. With all that complexity, if you look at more than 3 lakhs of projects are being done, maybe 1 lakh of projects are being done, multiple 3 people together if you take it. But do we have, and you know all the people who guide for BTech, the teachers, professors, different departments, they sign and say that this is a genuine new invention, genuine new project which people have done. Then India would have been one of the most best scientific community in the world. We have a lot of BTechs, but in the whole world we don't have that many engineers. That shows all BTechs are not engineers. Engineer is one who really do engineering, or even technologist. We don't have that many technologists. That is because we lack that professionalism, that ability to become a scientist, that ability to become a technologist, who can do experiment with his knowledge, understanding the knowledge mathematically, scientifically, looking at the nature science, gained with all his study, experience and practices, looking at what is the development ways, in which way you can utilize your knowledge, how economically India can grow. That means you know how the project can be planned, where you know your product can make money. That means you can get into business. You can become an entrepreneur. You can become a factory man who can run factories, who know how to optimize things. That is why some management subject is also put a part of engineering, and which altogether makes a useful product out of it, which will help the humanity at large. The mankind is of benefit. So every engineering technology, as a product manufacturer or as a scientist who generates the theory behind it, all of them are waiting or working or keeping their time for the benefit of the mankind. If you internally is a person who lives with that spirit for 4 years, you are called a brahmachari in that subject. Brahmacharyam. Brahma means hridaya guhara madhye kevalam brahma matram. Inside your hridaya, what is that creativity which you have? That creativity is called Brahma. And if you are keeping that creativity in technology for 4 years, you are eligible to be called as a Bachelor of Technologist. I am sure you have seen the movie 3 Idiots. It is not the certificate what you get, the marks which you get, how much your faculty will accommodate you, or how much they will supplement you. how much they will support you, how much they are happy, that's all immaterial. Probably an engineer who is genuinely learned how to do an engineering job, professionally he is a technologist, doesn't require a certificate because he can start his own institute, he can start his own industry, he knows how to make things. So the 4 years program which you have in your college is to create you, to make you in such a field where you know how to make things yourself. That is the whole basis of the project. Therefore, it's a professional art. Applying the science, optimizing all the resources which you have and make profit out of the knowledge what you have. Engineering itself comes from the word, Latin word, ingenium, the meaning cleverness. That means you are clever. You know how to do things. You are a smart person. You cannot be a dull small fellow. So how do you get things learned by yourself? A strong technical capacity you need. And you must be able to sell your product outside. Therefore, it's essential to know the skill of communication. It is not knowing that skill and getting marks in your, probably you have an English language class or maybe communicative English class language, that doesn't serve the purpose. The ultimate aim is to make you communicative, how well you can present. Even if you join a government or a multinational company, not the technologist who knows nice programming is at the highest level. You grow further, higher and higher, become a team leader, become a manager, become the CEO of the company only if you have good communication skill and good presentation skill. And you must be able to make your team pursue whatever they are into. If you don't have that leadership skill, you are not a good professional. Working alone doesn't make you a technologist or an engineer. If you are not able to work in a team, therefore interpersonal communication skill, the ability to work effectively in a team, good leadership. If there are 20 people working, I am sure when the boss comes or maybe somebody comes for a project, giving to you a project, taking a project from you, every 20% will not get a chance to talk to the business fellows. You will not be able to talk to the client to understand what is his requirement to implement further. If you don't know how to ask questions, if you don't know how to present the things. So who will be selected for that? May not be the best engineer, but a good engineer. Little engineering is must. That's why I said not the best engineer, but a good engineer, little bit. Plus good communication skill. Communication skill is essential if you want to grow. Interpersonal relationship, good communication. I have a book written on emotional intelligence for corporate communications. Look at DrTPS, go to my website or type in my telephone number, check for my website. In the book, there is one book. There are many books, but in one of the book is interpersonal relationship, how to maintain in a corporate company. That book is called Emotional Intelligence. Understanding the non-technical forces around you, that's a human resource. And that profoundly influence your growth in your career. That is where most of the people fail. And what will happen? Assume somebody not that qualified than you. Probably somebody is not that efficient in his work will become your boss very fast. Because you have failed in. Maybe some other person have succeeded in becoming a good communicator. So interpersonal relationship is must. The skills in designing, writing a good project, submitting it to somebody. So documentation is very, very essential. So what is becoming an engineer, what is becoming a technologist is not just technology and engineering, because it has got a lot of things around. That's why I said documentation is must. And you must also know how to paraphrase things. That's why sometimes when MNC company conduct examination, they will examine you, your English skill, paraphrasing skill, vocabulary, all that is essential. GRE itself is not enough for you to go abroad and study. You should also have IELTS. That's because I am sure you should have good English language. The project management, I was part of ISRO's headquarters, program planning and project management division. I was deputy there. So if you don't know how to manage a project, if you don't know how to project things with a specific accounts background, we had from Kerala Radhakrishnan as the chairman of ISRO. He worked only in accounting department for long years being an engineer. In ISRO headquarters, his job was accounts for long years. So being an engineer, if you don't know how to project requirements in terms of fund, you cannot become top boss. Because when you want to talk to government to get funding, you must be good in project management. You must also be good in accounts. You may have one paper in engineering. Probably people will just mug up something, write something and get it because thinking it's not that important for you. I remember even in mathematics class when I used to teach in 1984. When I used to teach in engineering college, I found most of the engineering students don't care mathematics. But if you want to be a good engineer, if your basic mathematics is not good, physics is not good, chemistry is not good, don't think that it is first semester I want to finish, then I don't require it. I've seen a lot of people who are mechanical engineers shifted to their field into chemistry. Because when they do project, they understand chemical engineering is more, or chemistry knowledge is more essential, or which is more interesting. Assume you want to be a nuclear physics person after any BTech which you have. Probably mechanical engineering people can become nuclear scientists, in which you will require a lot of physics and a lot of chemistry. Your mechanical engineering component could be very less. So being a BTech, it exposes you to a greater field in your life with multidisciplinary specializations available today in the world. Even not necessarily to be the best student in the place, but even an average or good student have got a lot of opportunities to make your life wonderful. Really great opportunities provided by the technological growth and development in this world is so vast. You can do wonders. Mathematics, statistics, understanding the world around, the social science, all that makes a good technologist a real technologist. That's why most of the technologists also know how to become a good social scientist. The technologists are great philosophers, because I heard my lectures from Narlekar, who was an astronomy great scientist in astrophysics. I used to hear U.R. Rao in our meetings, a great technologist with a huge knowledge in the society. You can imagine after retirement, Kasturi Rangan, who was the chairman of ISRO, when he became the part of the government, he became a person who has to assess the environment science. Probably you may think nothing to do with what is the physics which he has done, what is the rocketry science he has done, but ultimately the job given is to look at the environment. Because no technologist, no engineer can get rid of what is in the society and how science influences society. That is why in late 1990s, environment science was put as part of engineering. And I was teaching environment science in engineering college. Though I was not a teacher in that faculty. I remember when the faculty left, the students have to learn. I gave the whole semester on environment science. So if you are a technologist, you are a scientist, you are somebody who is very close to engineering, you have no escape even if you are computer science or electronics or electrical or mechanical, in spite of, don't think that it is only for civil engineers. So if you don't have that spirit inside you, if you don't have that engineering and technology, buddhi and manas, the atma is not inside that. Hridaya guhara madhye kevalam brahma matram. Your brahma, your creativity, your thoughts are not inside that. I am sure you will end up with a degree probably in BTech, probably some backlog papers. I have seen from engineering students, somebody who came to me when they were in 4th or 5th semester with 21 backlog papers. So I know how it happens in engineering colleges sometimes, because their whole essence is not understood. They say that this subject is not, I have seen in NIT and all, they have got an option. Semester to semester they can shift from one field to another field. Somebody who joined mechanical shifted to electronics, then shifted to computer science, and 3rd semester they came back to mechanical again, thinking that this is not what I want. That is because you don't have that passion for understanding. If you are able to understand your passion, I am sure you can get into that. I know people who left architectural engineering and joined computer science, and then he owns a great lab in MIT. If you can find out that answer, or if you know that answer, let me see whether you are able to WhatsApp that to me now. He is a great computer science man and who has got a great contribution in 6th sense, 7th sense computer, which understands documentations. It's a beautiful TED lecture on that. I am giving a lot of clue to see whether somebody can answer it. I am not seeing an answer. So that means you are not getting into the road to future. If you are going in the road to future, immediately the answer would have come here. I am not seeing the answer. Either you are not that fast, or you are not that skilled applying multiple or doing multiple things. You should, as an engineer, you should have that ability. And I am sure if you can do that, answers will immediately come. I am not going to give answers. I am only asking you questions. Probably I am triggering you somewhere to think yourself, is it the right path we are into? If you are not, it's time for you to think. Doesn't matter whether you are in 1st year, 2nd year, 3rd year or 4th year. Because ultimately you have to become either a manufacturing engineer, production engineer, marketing engineers are there now, maintenance engineers, quality control, production. The field of engineering has got a lot of things other than designing and technical supervision. And personally, I am sure you must do, yeah, I got an answer, but not from an engineer, but from my student, Pranav Mistry. So that person who has understood the world is not that he was basically Pranav Mistry was basically a person who joined for architectural engineering, left that and became a computer scientist who did marvelous research, and he has got a beautiful lab in MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Boston. If you are not that professional, and I am sure you are not in such a college where the professionalism is shown, the designing is shown in its architecture itself. Probably the architectural department of civil engineering department and mechanical department has no difference, because all of them are constructed by somebody else. As a civil engineer, or the department of civil engineering may not have that sort of a structure. Looking at it, you are able to learn things. Last year October, I was in Bloomington, Indiana University, America. There is a computer science department. The dean of that happens to be a Kannadiga, a friend of mine, a student of mine on Bhagavad Gita classes. He invited me, I went there. As you enter, you know it's a department of engineering, because the design is such. The electronics is implemented. The computer science is implemented in the veranda itself. The sitting places are designed entirely different, because designing is what they teach in computer science. And if you don't design your own building in such a fashion, then that makes no sense. I remember when I went to one of the engineering colleges, the owner of the engineering college asked me why our children are not completing their engineering exactly in 4 years. They have backup. Sometimes they take 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. Then I said, most of your buildings are also not completed. It's all half constructed. Your roads are not asphalt, tar. It is not blacktopped roads. You still think that next year you can do, next year you can do. So as they enter in the engineering college itself, they are seeing postpone. And some students go to the teacher with an assignment, they will tell you not today, tomorrow you submit. Now, instant, that discipline is not being taught. A professionalism is not specialized in a knowledge, that's must. But that is not what the competency is, not the just one quality. The honesty, integrity, accountability, the self-discipline which you have, looking like and showing like that you are a professionalist must. Get trim yourself. Himself or herself in the life has to be in such a way you conduct in the society also have to be like a professional. Then your planning, your designing, your implementing, your maintenance and your evaluation, your quality control, your process definition, your process maintenance, everything will have that discipline. If you are not a disciplined fellow, you cannot call yourself as professional. I being in engineering college as a faculty, senior faculty for almost 4 years, we all celebrate Engineers Day. And my PhD was in the engineering college under whose name the Engineers Day is celebrated. In younger childhood, we all have learned his biography, not as an engineering student, but as an young student. I am not seeing the name. I expect some students to immediately answer, this is the man. You know what is the quality which we learn in the humanities studies in English classrooms about that great engineer who was a equivalent to a Diwan, minister in Maharaja's place in Mysore, in whose name the engineering colleges in Bangalore is named now? Very good boy. I got the answer, Vishwesvaraya. That Vishwesvaraya is not taught in classrooms in younger classes. Mokshagundam Vishwesvaraya. Not as a great engineer. We all learned him as a great time disciplinarian. When he used to walk, the way he dresses up is like a Maharaja. Because he is a professional. A professional should have that dress code. Not just a great engineer, a great planner. I am in Hyderabad now. Nizam invited Vishwesvaraya to Hyderabad to create artificial lakes. 9 different bund, including the tank bund, was designed by Vishwesvaraya. So he was a great project manager par excellence, a great architect, a person with a strong value system. That is what made him great. That's why he became Bharat Ratna. That is why he became a great engineer. The discipline is must. And a great human being, a fine disciplined human being. That makes professional. I am sure you are not able to get this because you have not been motivated to become like that. And in your environment, you may not see such people who are your faculty, your professor to that stature so that you can look upon him. Yadyada jaradisrashta tattadeve etarochana sayat pramanam gurude lokastadanuvartade. Medical college system, I believe, is more stronger because every professor in medical college is also a doctor and then practice as doctors. Engineering college is a big failure. I am not talking about a specific college. That is basically because most of the time they are not professional by themselves. You have to become professional by them yourself so that you will be able to get that merit inside you. Forgone are the past. Don't worry about them. Think you as an individual, you can make a difference. And a batch of students from a group of students can change this. I'm sure you can do that. I remember I went to National Institute of Bhopal to teach them project management because they took large projects, like a project which they designed was to make a satellite by themselves. And I used to go there and teach them about project management, how building of a satellite happens. So the students are not taking small projects. They don't go out to some small companies to get some project, buy some project and submit somehow to get a degree. They do a great project with a total mentorship of few teachers, and as experts, I was one of the experts who used to go and guide them. So that is what is to be done by a real engineer. A great project, designing products, designing great plans, manufacturing. And I found most of the students who are part of that got into a highest level in their life. Because you become a great analyst, you become a great designer, you are part of an inventor, innovation, improvisation happens, and you are having a social catalyst inside you. You understand what is happening outside the world so that you can implement it straight. Therefore, engineering has to be like a liberal art. Lot of freedom to children. The freedom to students to think. That is what the whole purpose of a tech fest. But most of the tech fest end up with the cinema songs, calling some expert from cinema field to show some stupid things in the world. Lot of fun. Your dignity, your standard goes to that level of a public who is on the road. When I went to one of the engineering college, an NIT, in Hamirpur, we cannot reach on that day. So one day early I have to reach there because no guarantee. The roads could be hampered where the reaching their everyday flight is not there. So I remember one day early when I went. So mechanical engineering students asked me, suggest some good projects, good competition which we can conduct on the spot in the tech first day. I said, you children, you are all mechanical engineering students, and there was automobile MTech also. Automobile, mechanical, all of you together can have a good competition in the tech first. How many of you have motorbike? I asked. And they made a sliding ladder to reach into the stage. And then I asked, all the spare part of the motorbike, you remove it and separate them. Successfully they did it. I said, the competition can be tomorrow. Who can make the motorbike back into action? I found none of them. In a team of 10 people, when they work, they are not able to. But then we called the mechanic who is only a 10th class dropout sometime. With just an ITI, he could come and assemble it together. In my house in Hyderabad, I used to run a program called Shiksha, is my trust Shiksha holiday program, where many engineering students used to come and then spend a full day with me to learn real engineering. To the electrical engineering students, I used to give a screwdriver and ask them to open the switchboard, remove all the wires and then reconnect. Just to say, how dare sir, if it goes wrong, bad, I said, don't worry, I know how to do wiring. I used to ask them to open it up and then see. I don't know how many real electrical engineering professors or readers or lecturers or the BTech first rank holder is not able to repair that. It doesn't. How can you call yourself? I used to challenge the BTech architectural computer science architecture 100% mark you got. I am ready to give my laptop, open it up and set it back. If you are able to do that, if you can open up a laptop and set it back, you are a perfect hardware engineer. It's not that simple. So improve your working skill, not in thoughts, but in action. Don't waste your stupid time on mediocre fun. Ask yourself to challenge each other as engineering students. to understand what makes your life a meritorious life. That is possible only when you have got good group, good satsang. If your company is bad, Duryodhana became bad not because he studied in a different college where Dharmaputra did not study. Both Dharmaputra and Duryodhana studied together in same classroom under the same professor. But what made them difference? The difference was Dharmaputra had Krishna as the company and Duryodhana has Shakuni as the company. I am sure the 113 people who are listening to me is good or bad based on who is your mentor. Do you have Krishna as a mentor or do you have Shakuni as your advisor? There is no free lunch in this world. Every performance depends on attitude, opportunity and skill. You can change your skill if nice opportunities are given. Opportunities are plenty in this world. But attitude need to be set. That attitude setting, P, performance is equal to A plus O plus S. I am sure if you are students or not students, if you are an academician, you must be sitting with a pen and paper and writing down this. Write down, this is DrTPS formula, you will not get it anywhere. Performance P is equal to attitude A plus opportunity O plus skill S. So probably the college will give you little skill, but the rest of the skill you have to create yourself. Lot of opportunity in the world around, but why are you not opening it to that opportunity? Because you don't have that attitude. If you have that attitude, you are smart, you have willpower, you have ability to practice and you are disciplined. I am sure that destiny is not in because you had a bad background, the college was not good, the teachers were not good, the syllabus was bad, exam was, all that complaints will go. Accept what is around you, but you keep changing yourself to work. If things are bad, you cannot change it. If things are good, you can always use them to do actions. And that ability is what makes you a leader. That leadership if you have, I'm sure the engineering technology in the new path will become great for you. So not all the teachers, all the engineering students and all the technologists are the great people. In the whole, even in the developed countries, 1/3 opt in science technology area field, in which these 1/3 out of the 2/3 of the people will leave. Either they failed or they go. Only 9% of the engineers become real professional, not in India, the whole world. In India it is 0.1% because they don't even pursue into their own core engineering. They take up some other job. Kerala is able to generate good technologists, but in the whole India or in the world they fail because their communication skill is bad. You have to change. You have to stay motivated by yourself with a lot of quests. And that quest is there, I am sure you can change this world. And engineering college professionals, every holiday they must work. If you have 2 days holidays and 200 days working day, I am sure 165 days you have holidays. 365 days, only 200 days working days. 165 days holidays. What are you doing? In Russian engineering system, all the engineering college students have to go for work every holiday. Most of the American students at the graduate level, they have to earn themselves because parents will not give money. They have to earn their own fellowship. I am sure if an average engineering student 2 days per work, if they work, I am not asking 165 days, 2 days, multiply by 54 weeks, 108 days if you work, 500 days per day if you can earn, almost 52,000 rupees per year, and you can earn more than 2 lakhs, 80,000, nearly 3 lakhs rupees you can earn by the end of 3 years or 4 years. Why are you not doing? I am sure if you do that, that is how when we go to different universities in America or Europe, we have seen children working. And same Indian students, Same Kerala students, when they do there, they work. But in our own place, we are not able to do any job, any menial job. That doesn't matter. That gives you a lot of experience. That gives you a re-engineering in your engineering education. Don't waste time. If you are into that sort of a capacity, ready to work, I am sure after engineering, you will become a real engineer. Hook up with some beautiful projects where you can do good projects. Create your ability to show that you are creative, because that's a place where you can do. When you get into a job, you cannot be that creative. So make your project that efficient. I have taken children who are not very bright, given them beautiful projects, and such projects made them to get a job. They are into senior most positions in some of the companies. The social issues, real problems which require result solutions from your engineering skill is what is that you are supposed to look at. That makes you a real engineer. That's what I wanted to tell you. I thought I will talk to you for an hour and then open up to you to ask a lot of questions. I can go on and like this, but I'm sure your questions will be what I love to answer. So my telephone number is again, I will repeat, 944 74 37 948. And if you can ask me questions, I'll be the most happiest person to answer to my capacity what I can do. If Hitesh is happy, or you want me to specifically address some of the issues, probably you can give me that points on which you want me to cover. I could do that. I'm sure that's a topic which can be covered from different areas. I made it so generic because the audience are so generic, and I wish that a lot of questions will come into very specific areas where I could branch out according to the questions. So I open up the forum for asking questions. If there is a person who is anchoring and if he has to intervene, probably you could do that, or maybe children could send questions to me. 944 74 37 948. That will be easier. Yeah, he is the only engineer to be awarded the Bharat Ratna. Some of the knowledge is given here. How to develop a smart skill of multitasking of engineers. See, there is a proverb which says, if you are good in one subject, you can branch out into anything. Which subject is not related? When you get into engineering, you understand if you want to do robotics, there is electronics, there is mechanical engineering, there is a chip designing, there is a programming required, there is a good design. Even if you are designing something, I remember when I used to have some experts from Canada who were looking at the designing part of a vehicle, was part of aerofoil designing. He used to be in the Pune road and taking a lot of pictures of vehicles. Those lorries which are overloaded will have a different orientation, vibration, instability, and that was studied by discussing with those people. The multitasking of engineers is looking at the society, understand what is that they want. Automatically you get into a multitasking. And you have to be so creative. Your designing ability will come. I had few lectures on designing. So when you look at designing ability, that require a lot of multitasking, lot of examples from different places. What is the opinion about self-learning courses? What you should do is, today there are many open school programs where they are giving edX, Coursera, and so many different. You just type in, you will get. Big universities like MIT, Oxford, all of them give you free courses on different technology field. So if you are a good learner, you have got a lot of opportunity to do certification from many. As an engineering college student For 4 years, forget about the first 2 years or 3 years if you already crossed that. Next few months when you have, if you can pick up any topic of interest, any topic related to your subject, any most advanced topics which are available, learn that by yourself. By taking such courses, I am sure you can do wonders. And if this is the question about how to study your own syllabus alone, I am sure most of the students, I don't know, in some of the engineering colleges in Kerala, they are very strict in attendance. But in Hyderabad and all, we have colleges where we are not very strict in any of the students attending classes, because we entertain them to go there outside and then do whatever they want and then gain knowledge. Some of the private engineering colleges encourage that because they can earn a lot of money, because you don't have to even to appoint teachers. Sometimes they know how to manipulate the evaluation system and all that. How can we motivate our children to earn money while studying? You don't have to earn money, but you have to learn how to use your knowledge for the society. So that by the end of 4 years, you will be able to create your own project. I remember in the management college when I was a professor of management, I was also head of the department, I had a lot of liberty. All the students, 4 or 5 batches were already done. That means approximately 300 to 400 children passed out to MBA, but none of them got a good job. In my batch, what I did was, I asked them to go around to the society and find out the problems, and then we discuss together and find out the solution and implement that. That was given as a project, picking up from the neighborhood. And when they went for survey and did that job in their surrounding area, out of 60 children, 23 of them were offered a job on the fly. So they got a job because the society found that these children are very good. And therefore, immediately they got an appointment. And that is what is done. AICT started a project called Engineering Management. 4-year program plus 1 year additional. But then most of the engineering colleges, there were no takers. The basic difference is because we find a lot of difference between engineering faculties and management faculty. They don't mix together. Fortunately, I may be one of the person who got a professorship in an engineering college without a definite faculty. Therefore, I used to teach management, I used to head the management, and I also teach BTech students in mechanical engineering because my PhD is in fluid mechanics. I used to teach them image processing because my work for 25 years in the space department, and outside after that, I continued doing in geographic information system, image processing, and etc. etc. Even now, Infosys, the last year also I trained almost 150 employees of Infosys on mapping from space, where the Google Map implementation is essential. So I am into that field. Therefore, I used to teach in engineering college, computer science department, electronics department, signal processing, electrical department also had signal processing. And I am sure if there is a blend of engineering and management together, that makes a beautiful scenario. I guess that is the question which is asked. Communication and leadership skill to be developed. It's very simple. You start communicating with people, the communication skill happens. I told you I picked up young children, 8th grade children from Palakkad. They were all Malayalam medium students in a normal Kedakkanjeri, Vadakkanjeri government high school. Their communication skill in English was just changed in 3 days time. You may wonder why this man is bluffing like this. No bluff. 3 days time. Actually, communication skill is not grammar. It is not vocabulary. It is only your courage to speak. And if you have courage to speak in English, I am sure you will become alright. So how did I do that? I just took these children to Goa. In the Goa beach, I asked my 8th grade children to go and interview people around. In which language they can ask questions. Few questions I asked them to mug up. They learned and they started asking questions. So in 3 days time, what I did was, I made them to have that courage to speak to anyone in English though there are 100 mistakes. Doesn't matter. I'm sure if you do that for a few days, 18 days of such activity when you do, you will become a good communicator. When you become a good communicator, what happens is most of the children don't even ask questions. Even physically when you go there, when I do workshops for recruitment training programs, I remember Kakinada, one of the engineering colleges here. When I went, it was most of the students did not get job, not because technically they are bad. Generally, Andhra people are very good in mathematics and technology. And then they did not get job because their communication skill was bad. Just few days of workshop, creating them to have that courage to speak, made it very good. In that batch, out of 60 children who passed in all the subjects, 35 of them or 37 of them, I remember, they got a job in the next recruitment training. So most of the time what happens is the recruiters will not come to a place where they have got a bad communication skill. And it is understood that there was a great study done by one Mr. Hari and one Musculo or somebody in USA. They found that engineering college students doesn't have a good communication skill because they come from a bad background. That is what the conclusion. It's not mine, it is by them. There are 2-3 studies available. And why this bad background, which says the bad background is the low income background. Probably those parents were not very social. Therefore, in childhood, their number of words which they could capture in their brain become too less. If in the younger childhood, up to 6 years, you gather almost 6,000 words. Up to 12 years, you gather 12,000 words. Up to 18 years, you gather 18,000 words. But in the rest of the life, you will not be able to gather more number of words. Maximum 20-30,000 words only what you can get. So in childhood, if you don't get yourself exposed to good communication, later changing that becomes little tough. Only thing, you will have to struggle a lot. Abhyasa enadu kaunteya. You will have to try harder. And if you are too tricky, probably you can do that. So this is what is essential to become a good communicator. So good communication is there, definitely. The good communication means you can talk to people, get their knowledge. You don't have the courage to speak. That inferiority complex will go if you have got good communication skill and you have got courage. So that is essential. Lack of concepts is the main problem faced nowadays by engineering students. How can we improve our concepts? Every technological term, look at the dictionary, understand the basic meaning. Then go and Google. I am sure today's world there are a lot of lectures available. If still you have doubt, 944-7437-948. Anytime you can text me, WhatsApp me, contact me, and we will have to one dialogue and clear your problems. I am sure if 1 or 2 times you have that, you know the trick of analyzing, getting knowledge. I don't teach subjects. I teach children how to learn yourself. I am sure you can learn yourself by making you to get into that track, that sort of a rail in which you know how to learn yourself. That is what is essential. The learning skill has to be learned. The is not an excuse for long-term bad. That's 100% sure. That's why I said you will have to do hard work. The bad background or the low background or a good exposure is not there in your life. That's only what I mean by bad. You are not able to get into that good group of people where you can communicate in that frequency because you come from that low level of a society, both income wise. It's not my conclusion. It's the conclusion of the study what they have done, and that is true generally. I remember when I selected one of the engineering college student who got first rank in Kannur University, who was a mechanical engineering student. I asked him, what job you want? I can get you something in for higher studies, some fellowship. Immediately he said, I want a job close to my house. You are not able to even travel across because he said, I don't know language. I cannot communicate in English. So even if you are academically good, sometimes your communication skill becomes a big barrier. I found that's the biggest problem. There are a lot of people, safety people. I remember the safety, fire and safety course was done by somebody in Cochin, who is a far relative of mine. And then somebody came to Delhi and then asked me to get a job. I spoke to him in Hindi or English. He is not able to answer anything. I said, how can you be a vigilant fire service man when the local language is not known to you? One of the best methods is you will have to travel a lot. You will have to talk to such people and learn that communication. It's only 3 days. 3 days you can get the courage. 18 days you can make your language perfect. That's simple. But you must have the attitude for that. You must decide that yes, I must change. I get irritated when somebody sends a message in Malayalam but typed in English alphabets, which I don't even look at sometime, right? The projects that can be done in mechanical engineering field along with the classes. What could be I think it is very specific question. We can address it individually, or probably if you have got a few students in mechanical engineering, we can do a great large project, because Palakkad has got a lot of projects which are associated with mechanical engineering, right? I'm sure you can do that. How can you motivate our children to earn money while studying? I tell you, when I used to travel across from Wayanad to Thrissur, there used to be one engineering medical entrance examination coaching center. I am not very supportive to that sort of an activity, but that's one place where I can meet bright children, because that happens to be the art of the day today. So I went to Malappuram. I remember Malappuram, when I went, the class was 9 o'clock night to 12 o'clock night, because Wayanad I finished a class and then I was traveling. You can see all these classes on my YouTube. All of you must go and look at YouTube. You will see a lot of lectures related to these topics. Very specific mechanical engineering, very specific computer science, image processing, geographic information system, management subjects, all these lectures you can see. I remember that day we had a lot of classes. 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock I had lecture. Then while coming back out, we went to a dhaba for a dinner. 12 o'clock midnight. The dhaba was open on the road because it's a national highway. The boy who was serving, I don't leave a chance of talking to anybody who is available around. So I was talking to him. He was a BTech from Bangalore. Communication skill was fantastic. But his father runs the dhaba, and all holidays he works in the dhaba. And he says that's the best place. He met a lot of people where he learned a lot of things around. And that experience is helping him to do many things in his life. So he created a lot of projects by himself. So I'm sure, open up yourself to the world around. My son is a mechanical engineer. I have sent him to different companies while doing his project. Not just a project at the 4th year at the end. Most of the holidays he used to be in different places. I have got my nephew attending this program. Through his contact, I knew one of the faculty, Hitesh, in your engineering college. When my son went and met my nephew, the next he wrote a paper on, that time my nephew was doing a multi-level parking project, and that triggered him to write a paper on multi-level parking, and he presented that in Indian Institute of Science. And when he went to Indian Institute of Science to present that paper, he stayed with one of my student who was doing a research there. So sometime that sort of a contact will open up you to a different world altogether. Not that project what he did is the field in which he has done his masters, not doing his PhD in nuclear physics today. That's just because he has went and seen some of the factories where the nuclear physics was in use. So I'm sure you must expose yourself to different places. I remember when he came to Iringalakkuda during the holidays, I have also sent him to a place where cattle feed is being made, because there also you have equipments which are used for creating such things. I'm sure Palakkad people have kanji code. Every weekend, every engineer must go to that place and then look at different companies. I remember when I was working in a academic staff college, Calicut, I used to go to the techno park nearby. There I used to make bread. So I learned how to make bread in the factory. What are the machines which they are using? So these are all practical things which you can do, which you can make yourself to learn things. Earning and learning are very nearby. Only one L letter is extra for learning. And when you remove L, learning becomes earning. So both are part of it. For me, life is learning, is an investment for future earning. I am sure if you learn well, you will earn well tomorrow. That is what is essential. So you need to get into that sort of a world where you don't limit yourself to learn within the syllabus. Get into that opportunity of learning from everyone and identify who can guide you perfectly to go to which direction to learn better. And that is what is essential. That is what is the purpose of nice projects. If anybody wanted to come on to video and then ask me a question, I will be more glad.
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. There are a few questions in the chat box. Shall I read it out for you?
Yeah, that will be great.
Okay, sir. There's a query raised by Jaya, sir.
Yeah.
How to develop interdisciplinary skills at
I
college?
think that is what I read and answered already.
Sorry, sir. There's a question raised by Sujo, sir.
Yeah.
Can you suggest self-improvement equation for teachers to be good mentors, as mentoring is of great requirement now?
Yeah, I remember the whole Kerala has got a program called WWS, Walk with a Scholar. That is not in engineering colleges, that's in government colleges and aided colleges. I did a program called the Mentors Navigation Program, training all the teachers, not all the teachers, selected teachers from all colleges. In Palakkad, my program was there in Mercy College, it was there in Victoria College, it was there in Chittoor College, government college. 3 places in Palakkad I remember. There was somewhere else also. So what I used to do is I used to gather teachers from different places. If you can look at Mentors Navigation Program or send me a WhatsApp, exactly I will tell you what are the programs what I did there and how I made teachers equipped themselves to do the mentoring. What is the qualification a mentor require? He have to have that heart for mentoring. He must love children, number 1. And second one, he must be aware of what is there around the world available. He must have huge experience of traveling across, mixing with society, where these can be applied. What can be applied? Which study he can go? What gives him a research scope? The percentage of BTechs going for MTech is only 0.01 percentage. 0.0005 percentage is the BTechs getting into PhD. The difference is when you become a BTech or an MTech in the normal college without a gate. If gate is not passed, then probably all the job opportunities becomes half. And if you are not getting a gate, Hyderabad is a place where a lot of people, stupid, useless fellows will come. There are 2 lakhs of people from Kerala itself coming to Hyderabad, and out of which 100 people or 200 people come into the merit rank. I am sure if they are brilliant, if they sit at home and study, they will also get into that. So start your basic knowledge very strong, and then that has to be emphasized. It is not for getting a BTech degree. It is for you to get into a gate score, which will give you a green card for entering into many companies across the world. All students should try themselves vetting by GRE, GATE, all entrance examinations, DRDO, ISRO, conducting plenty of examinations. So a mentor must be aware of which are all the opportunities your children have, where are all they can go, how to write an SOP for getting a higher studies abroad, how do you get good fellowship in different universities abroad. All these have to be understood. And what is the merit of studying in MIT? What is the merit of studying in IIT in India? What America imports from India? There is a beautiful television program available on YouTube. Just look at it. That will tell you how good IITs are. How an entrepreneur is developed in IITs. I was in Warangal few months back before the lockdown. There is a beautiful place which is run by Science and Technology Department, an entrepreneurship cell, in which there is an incubator center, and they have got a large funding, probably one of the biggest incubation center in South India is in that place. So entrepreneurship is what a teacher as a mentor has to make your children to become. That's why I said go around in the companies, refer to them in different companies and start looking at them, ask to get a report, evaluate them, ask them to rework on that. These are all essential to do. Yeah. Good enough?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
There's a query raised by Jagdishan, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, we hear that our education is more bookish in nature
Yeah.
than developed countries.
Yeah.
If it is true, then what are the changes we need to take?
See, I am not a part of engineering syllabus creation. I am not a part of the technology university. I am not a part of AICT. I look at, instead of telling what can be changed, as a teacher, what I have done is what I said. In my engineering college, I did not take attendance. My class was attended by I never used to take class in the classroom. I used to be in the seminar hall. And my hall is open. Anybody can come and sit in my class. There I make everyone to think. I make everyone to ask questions. And I don't give notes. I ask my children to take notes. I don't ask them to study. Don't become bookish. Do projects and then look at the theory behind it. Do experimentation. I don't know, when I teach mathematics, I never used those textbooks prescribed by this college. I always look for Erwin Krzik, the engineering mathematics. That has got an engineering touch inside that. So the teachers have got a lot of liberty to orient their children. And if you don't have, I'm sure you must get into such places, such people, identify such people who can guide. If not, create a small group, start debating and discussing and learning. That's why I said 200 days classroom, 160 days holidays. That is what I did with my 8th grade children. To change their communication skill, I asked them to see movies every day. If a civil engineer can see all the different structures available in the world, they know huge. I have got a classmate of mine who was my 8th grade classmate. When I went to Dubai, I found he is one of the best engineer. He writes before his name, he is only a BTech. But he writes ENGR, engineer. He is able to call himself, I am an engineer, because he has got 300 engineers working under him. From British, American, different nationals. They are all under him. Because he is the man who did lot of foundation for different big buildings in Dubai. So he himself feels he is a professional. Meeting such people, I am sure you will change. So you have holidays. You must be with the people who have got work experience. That is what I said, opening the switchboard. That is what I said, opening the motorbike. You vet yourself. You open yourself to this world of reality. Don't stay inside the book and then become a bookish. Books are required for you to get through a normal syllabus. But outside syllabus, you can always wander around if you are a real engineer. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. There is a query raised by Achilles, sir.
Yeah.
How can I develop agriculture in our state after completing BTech?
You just listen to my lecture which I gave in Thrissur Management Association during the COVID 2 weeks or 1 month back almost. I gave a beautiful structure for it is not agriculture which is not less in Kerala. When T.N. Sheshan wrote a book, he wrote, we know how to make missiles, we know how to make atom bomb, but we don't know how to preserve tomato for few days. I am sure Modalamada has got a beautiful, very close to your college. Modalamada has got a beautiful mango field, beautiful paddy field. Why it is not growing? Because we don't have a good warehouse, we don't have good infrastructure logistics. Good infrastructure and logistics with a good support, Kerala can become self-sufficient. I gave this lecture for the Management Association lecture 1 month back or so. So as an engineer, what you can do is great. You can have small mechanism for preserving food, preserving our vegetables. Otherwise you will have products, but you will not be able to take that product in the freshness to the buyer, consumer. That is where we are failing. That is why people are not doing it. And you must also have got mechanisms. When we go to Dubai in the desert, we will see people cultivating beautiful agricultural field. And one is that attitude what I said. We have got a bad attitude. I am a agriculturalist by myself. When Manorama paper people came to my house, when somebody said I climb a coconut tree to pluck coconuts, not the small one, 40 feet high. Manorama people did not believe, but they asked me to climb to take pictures. In few years back, maybe 2 years, 2018 I think, in the January, it came in the newspaper. So you are an agriculturalist by default. I am sure all of you have got your parents or grandparents. Get into that, vet yourself. Then you are able to do it. And use that engineering methodology. You know, when I heard Yashpal's lecture, Yashpal was UGC chairman long back. He was a space scientist, went to University Grants Commission. He was telling, India only knows the technology. When you have a motorbike, you drive the motorbike from home. Same motorbike engine, you can use it to connect to your water pump to pump water. Same motorbike, you can use it for plowing the field also. So multitasking with the same equipment. I think as an engineer, you have that ability to make things multitasking with minimum changes in your equipments. That engineering ship you can show. Good enough?
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
There is a query raised by JKPK29. Sorry, sir, ma'am, I'm unable to guess your name. Well, the question is, with the increasing availability of technology and information around the world, is the formal degree required to become successful?
Yeah, that is essential, because if 10th class certificate is not with you, how do I select people for 11th and 12th? Anyway, academic admissions are essential. You are able to ask this question. I am able to speak because I have got a certificate with me which gave me a job in space as a space scientist. If I don't have a job in space scientist, I will not get this opening. To get a job in space science, I have to do a PhD. To do a PhD, I must make my guide understand that I can do PhD, for which I need an MPhil. To do an MPhil, I need an MSc. So, actually, education system is filtering people. A KG class, you have got 100 children. I know that all of them wanted to become grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, go to 10th class. When they reach 10th class, when I teach mathematics, my intention is all these 100 children who are sitting in front of me in 10th class will go to +1, +2 with mathematics specialization. But they may not go. Out of that 40 will go. How do I know which 40 will go? I will have to conduct examination. Yesterday I was talking to B.Ed college in Kannur, and in which I said examination and test is the requirement of the student. Like examination and test of blood is an essential requirement by the patient for a diagnosis. And then the doctor had to certify with a report. That report is your certificate. So it is a self-test. Each student must be able to take on tests and say that I am qualified 10th class. So examination, certification is not the requirement of the system. It is not requirement of the teachers. It is requirement of the students. Entrance examination for engineering is conducted because the entrance examination will tell you your basic knowledge is sufficient enough for you to grasp that engineering subject which is taught in the engineering college. But what we have done is we have diluted this and made a lot of children to enter inside engineering college. I remember when I was executive director, Kerala government told if you have got a hall ticket is good enough. Less than 40% mark in maths is good enough to enter into engineering college. But they will fail. They will not exit out of engineering college with a certificate. So, I know some people go to Canada for higher studies, but they don't have a language certificate. Some university will give you admission without a language certificate also to get admission in the college in Canada. But that certificate is of no use to you, because when you go there, you will know that you are not able to follow the language. So why this examination and certificate is essential? It tells you that you are qualified to get into the next level. That qualification you need, otherwise how do I select students for higher studies? How do I select students for a job? That is essential. So certificate has value. Certificate is essential. Don't tell that oh, knowledge is essential. I don't believe in examination. That's a stupid thing. If you have knowledge, you can also write exam. You can also get certificate. But just a certificate without knowledge, that is a useless thing. With the knowledge, certificate is useful. That's what I want to tell you.
Thank you, sir. Well, we are done with the question session, sir.
Good. Thanks a lot. God bless you. I am sure my contact number is with you. Any one of you can do WhatsApp and contact. We'll have dialogue. Though the official session of asking questions are all over, I must thank Hitesh, and you must thank me in case I have done some justice to that call what I got. And thank you the person who anchored. I don't remember your name. And thank you Sreepathy College management, principal, I'm sure the coordinators and the faculties and all of you for attending this program. Almost around 100 people were there. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that there are beautiful messages coming. Sushma has sent a message, inspiring session. Thank you very much. I'm sure tomorrow this session will be on YouTube. Those who have missed this, they can re-look at it. Those who heard, if you want to re-hear this, I'm sure that is the beauty of online. You can always ask to stop, you can pause, you can fast forward, you can skip, all that is possible. So use the online time for learning as much as you can. So I'm sure all of you will have a good future with a great attitude for making yourself as a good technologist and engineer. Thank you. Thanks a lot. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. To all who have attended this, we have provided a feedback form of the webinar. So please kindly take 2 minutes to fill in the form. Anyways, thank you so much, sir, for spending your time with us. Thank you so much for the valuable thoughts you shared with us today.
Thank you.
We're definitely looking for another interactive session with you in the future.
God bless you.
We would like to present a digital memento to you, sir. For this, I would like to call Sunny, sir, Assistant Professor from CSE Department and Technical Coordinator for the webinar series, to do the honor.
It's my privilege. Thank you. God bless you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to call Hitesh, sir, Assistant Professor from Physics from ASNH Department, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
I am here because of him.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Respected Dr. Sasikumar, sir, and our dear other participants. When I thought of conducting, organizing a webinar, I asked two of my friends. So one of my friends shared me his uncle's number, and he told me that you can contact him over WhatsApp. So I was just surprised. will you attend my messages? That was my first question. So he replied, the uncle is always on webinars and he is always conducting so many webinars in a day. And he will accept the invitation all of a sudden. And with 10 minutes, I got the reply and he is ready to take the webinar. And he took a good topic. That is an interesting topic. No doubt, engineer or a technologist is a problem solver. That's what the real idea of his talk, I feel. And no doubt, all students have, all the people who have attended the seminar have benefited with this course. Thank you. We are looking forward for much cooperation from you, sir. Rather than teaching field, you can also be a spiritual inspirer for all teachers like us. Thank you, sir, for this wonderful session.
Thank you. God bless you. I wish all of you send a message on WhatsApp and then be in contact.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the nice anchoring, beta. Good job done.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you everyone for being a part of this webinar today. So stay home, stay safe. So let's use this virtual platform for more informative sessions in future. Thank you all.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Vincila, thank you.
Where is our man? Where is our man who is contacting and controlling all of us? Saji? Anish, yeah. Yeah. Good. Enjoyed?
Yes, sir.
Good. That's good enough.
Sanish, mic open alla. Sanish, put on your mic.
Sanish is the man who is controlling everybody's mic.
I mean, this is ഞങ്ങളുടെ 38ാമത്തെ 40ാമത്തെ വെബിനാറാണ്. അപ്പൊ ഞങ്ങളിതൊരു എന്താ പറയുക, അതാണ് ഞാനത് ജസ്റ്റ് സാറിനും അത് മാത്രം പറഞ്ഞത്. നമ്മളിതൊരു എന്താ പറയുക, ഇതിന്റെ ഒരു ഭാഗമായിട്ട് മൊത്തത്തിലുള്ള സാറിന്റെ ടൈം പറഞ്ഞത് അതുകൊണ്ടാണ്. സുബക ഇതിനു മുമ്പ് ഞങ്ങൾ ഒരുപാട് വെബിനാറുകളുടെ ആയിരുന്ന ആളാണ്. അപ്പൊ ഇന്നും പുള്ളിക്കാരി ഫൈനൽ ഇയർ സ്റ്റുഡന്റ് ആണ്. എക്സാംസ് പോസ്റ്റ്പോൺ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് പുള്ളിക്കാരി കിട്ടിയത്.
Good. Done well.
So that's it, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, sir. ഒരു കാര്യം, സാറിന് സജഷൻ ഉണ്ടോ? സാർ ഒരുപാട് അറ്റൻഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഞങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യുന്നതിൽ ഒരു ഇമ്പ്രൂവ്മെന്റ് സാറിന് പറയാനുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പറയാം.
No, it's good, but always it is nice to see the person who is asking question in front of us. So probably you should ask the person to come on to video and ask.
Okay.
Right. See, I am able to read, but still me reading and answering.
Okay.
Instead of that, if somebody asks that, it is good. Anchoring person can ask, but I'm sure if somebody wanted to raise the hand and then you can ask him to come on to video, that will have a feel of a class. That's it. Otherwise, it's good.
Okay.
And I have got a lot of messages from your students. So that means your students are good. That's how I assess the children. If they are sending message, I know the college is good. If they are not sending message, they are not asking question, they are not interacting, and with this it is end, that means the college is not very fond of learning. They are only fond of showing that you have done something. That's it.
Okay.
And have you posted all these webinars which you have done onto YouTube or somewhere?
Yeah, sir. We used to do it. ഞാൻ സാറെ ലിങ്ക് നേരെ അയച്ചുതരാം. ഈ ലിങ്ക് ഒരു 10 മിനിറ്റ് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എനിക്ക് അയച്ചുതരാൻ പറ്റും. ഞങ്ങൾ യൂട്യൂബിൽ പോസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ ടൈം എടുക്കും. ലിങ്ക് ഞാൻ അയച്ചുതരാം.
Yeah, link if you send it, I will download and then use it. Yeah. Anyway, I will make, but I can use your recording because I have got some restrictions of recording, so I am using external recording. That will have some more time for me to edit.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Love you. God bless you. All the best.